and prisms. So volume is I honestly believe it's easier than surface area. There's no adding, it's just taking the formula and multiplying. So calculate the volume of this prism. And then when you guys find volume, it's usually the base, right, times the height. So you're going to find the base of your shape, and then you're going to multiply it by the height. Okay, so when we look at, now that applies to every shape we do. When we look at this shape, the base is a rectangle, so that's why our base is length times width, and then the height is just whatever, 5 centimeters. So let's see who can get me the answer in the chat here. Bonus marks. I hope Rusley's here today. He's usually my guy. He's not. Ryan, it's your turn to step up. Volume, you take the area of the base, length times width, and you multiply it by the height. There are some numbers there, 8, 4, and 5, and you guys should be able to get the volume. Oh, I got to record this. Oh, we're already recording. Come on, Ryan. Length times width times height. Anybody in the chat, let's go. 150, thank you, Camilla. 8 times 4, so the length times width is 8 times 4, which is here. And then you multiply it by the height. 160, maybe I screwed that up. 8 times 4 times 5. 160 I'm getting. Anthony? Camilla, I don't know what happened, but it should be 160. Next thing, Joanna, why is my answer wrong here? Or anyone? I'm not going to waste too much time because this bell goes at 9:53. So I'm missing the units, centimeters cubed. Every time you're doing volume, you do centimeters cubed. All right, so if there's no questions, I'll move on. So the volume of a rectangular prism is L times W times H. It's the easiest shape you guys are going to get. Okay, calculate the volume of a cylinder. Here is your volume, or your volume formula of a cylinder. Pi r squared times H. Let's see who can get it in the chat. Who's going to get it? Tristan, I believe in you. $62.8. Withilla comes in here. So pi r squared is pi 2 squared times 5 and 62.8. The way to go, Withilla. You get 100% bonus. You do not have to write the next unit test. Everybody who answers today doesn't have to write the next unit test. Moving on. From the cylinder, we are going to do the volume of a cone. So the volume of a cone, the formula is right here, 1/3 pi r squared h. And it's important to know that now that we're doing volume, you cannot use the slant height anymore. You have to use the perpendicular height, which is what's given. Now, for bonus, Ryan or somebody else, or Mark or Keem, the guys at the back, we are using radius, but it's given us 12 inches. What do I have to do with that 12 inches? Divide by 2. Thank you, Withilla. Extra bonus. So diameter doesn't help us. 12 over 2 equals 6. So that's our new radius. Oh, and then you guys go ahead. Okay. $678.58. Let's see if Rusley's got it. Right on, Rusley. Killing it today. Okay, we're going to move on here if there's no questions. A pyramid. So, oh, I didn't animate those. Okay, don't do this question over here. That's 10C, not 10CX. So we're going to do the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 length times width times height. So determine the volume of a right rectangular pyramid with a base of 55.4, 3.2, and a height of 8.1. So let's see who can get it. $46.65. Let's see. Here we go. 46.656. Right on. Rusley, my God, guy, you are unbelievable today. So we are not going to do the next one. That is not for you guys. Okay. And if there's no questions, I will move on again. Any questions? All right. Okay, this one is a bit tricky. You need to work backwards. So when these questions are given to you, okay, so let's look at number one. A cone has a height of 4 yards and a volume of 205 cubic yards. Determine the radius of the base. So whenever you're doing these questions, we're talking about volume and we're talking about cone. So the first thing you need to do is write down the formula for the volume of a cone. All right? Once you do that, you will then replace the variables that are given to you. So we are given pi always. We are given the volume this time, which is 205, and we are given the height, which is 4. So step number one is write down what formula you're using. Step number two is to replace the variables. Once you do that, you need to solve for the variable. So we are looking for R. So for bonus, what would be my first step in getting R by itself? Divide by 4. Okay, Rusley, pretty good, but that's half the answer. There's also another division that needs to happen. Pi, very good. Wow, Rusley.
Please excuse the interruption, but there is a green Sable with license plate BZN 9541 with their lights on in the parking lot.
All right. So you divide by 4 pi on each side, and then you'll get this. Okay, so once you divide by 4 pi, that will cancel that and that. You are left with R squared. Ryan, eh? Very good. Okay, Ryan, I got a question for you then. We need to solve for radius, okay? But right now, radius squared, that's not radius. How do I get rid of a square term? Come on, Ryan. Ryan, Mark, or Keem, you guys can answer this. How do I get rid of a square? If Russley wanted to get rid of a multiplication of 4 pi, he divided by 4 pi. EC comes in. Very good. EC, when we come back to school, you will sit at the back with the boys. All right? So you need to square root both sides. Square root both sides, and that will cancel the square. And then you will just plug this in your calculator. Please put this in brackets. Let's see who can get the right answer. Russley, I know you can do it. Russley, come on, man. $12.68. What? 12.68. Maybe I got the answer wrong. 205 divided by 4 pi square root. I got 4.04, so I don't know where you're getting 1268. Okay, the volume of a rectangular prism. So remember, a rectangular prism, I'm just going to let you guys try this. They're giving you the volume of a right rectangular prism, and they give you the length and the width, and what is the height. So let's see if you guys can do this one. You will be exempt from the unit test if you get this answer right. First one. Height is 2.299. Let's see. So we're doing a right rectangular prism and we're doing volume. So we know the volume is equal to length, width, height. So the volume is 38.9 that was given in the question, and we have 3.6 and 4.7. Divide both sides by that number, 2.3. So Claire, you got it right on. Not wrong. You are really right. Okay, hopefully you knew to put meters there as well. Okay, if there are no questions, we actually have to move on to the second part of our lesson. And then we'll be done soon. So that's volume. If there are no questions in 10 seconds, I will move on. Mark, are you here today? Write in the chat. Yes. Okay. How come you're not answering, Mark? Usually you and Ryan both get the answers all the time. I don't know. All right, right on. Okay, we are going to work with spheres. This is our last shape. So the last part of this lesson is just doing surface area and volume of a sphere. So here we go. The surface area of a sphere is this formula, 4 pi r squared. And the volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r squared. The diameter of a baseball is approximately 3 inches. Determine the surface area and determine the volume. So somebody answered, Withilla, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this diameter? Both of these formulas don't say diameter. So what am I going to do? Or Mark, maybe you can answer this. What do I do with the diameter? Multiply what? Withilla, at 9:05, you wrote divide by 2. Yeah, there we go. Keem comes in. Right on, Keem. I didn't think you were here. So you need to, diameter doesn't help us find the radius. So take 3 divided by 2, and now you have 1.5. Okay, I trust that you guys can just apply these formulas. So first person to get both answers is exempt from the test. You changed 28.27. What's that mean? You changed 28.27. I need both answers, Rusley. Come on, Mark, you can do this, dude. Oh no, I forgot to delete you change. Okay. Volume is 14.14 and SA 28.27. All right. We got an answer, so let's see. Surface area is 28.27 inches squared. Very good. Volume is 14.14. Mark, exempt. Kenneth is here. Noah Boucher not here unless you're in the chat. And Joy is here. Brandon is here. Jai, Jules, Jai, Jay, and no Jules. All right, moving on. Very good. Okay, the surface area of a lacrosse ball is 20 inches. Oh, I didn't animate these, damn. Okay, let's take a phone break while I animate. All right, we're back. Phone break over. So we need to work backwards again, okay? So the surface area of a lacrosse ball is 20 square inches. What is the diameter of a lacrosse ball? Okay, so this question is just trying to confuse you. What is the diameter? Whenever you see diameter, you know you have to get the radius first. So what you're going to do is a lacrosse ball is just another ball. And what is the shape of a ball? It's a sphere. So we are doing the surface area of a sphere. So what you always do in these situations, okay, you are doing surface area of a sphere. You got to write down the formula. Once you write down the formula, you replace the variables you know. So write down, then you replace. The only thing I can replace here is the surface area. Okay? So that's a 20. The next thing we're going to do is find R. So Rusley was good at this. Rusley, what do I do to get R by itself? Divide 4 pi. Right on, my man. You divide by 4 pi, and that will cancel these. Okay, and then somebody else said this. Isis, what do I do? Then, oh, Rusley already got it. Then you square root. So the radius is 1.26, blah, 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 blah. However, we're not looking for the radius. We're looking for the diameter. So just take that radius and multiply it by 2. Okay, you guys try and do example 3. It's the same question almost. Who can get it? All right, here we go. Come on. To be exempt from the unit test. .46 with Illa. Let's see. You take the surface area of a ball. So again, look at this shape and look at what you're doing. So it's either going to be volume or surface area. So you replace surface area with 250, and then Rusley, direct me. How do I solve for R? Divide 4 and pi. Very good. And then square root. Thank you. 4.46. But we are looking for diameter. So it would be 8.9. Who got that? Kim, you are exempt. Okay, moving on. If there's no questions, we will move on here. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is the last slide, okay? So when you have a hemisphere, wait, are we actually going to be exempt? Unfortunately, Claire, I'm just kidding. You guys are not exempt from the unit test. So sorry, Keem, as well. I can't do that. But thank you for answering in the chat. I will give you bonus, though. How about that? So a hemisphere is a sphere cut in half. So what do you, if we're only given the volume of a sphere on our formula sheet, how would you, if you cut something in half, what does that mean you do in math terms? Cutting something in half? You divide by 2. Very good. So I'm going to do the volume first because it's a little bit easier. You have a sphere. That's the volume of a sphere. Okay. And just take that volume and divide it by 2. So let's see what you guys can do. Here's your information. A hemisphere has a radius of 8. What is the volume? Go ahead. Well, Ryan, it's your turn to get bonus right now. This is the volume of a sphere. Divide it by 2. This is your chance to shine, Ryan. Noah shows up. Thank you, Noah. Anybody, someone else can answer for the bonus. Claire, Keem, Rusley, you guys can get double bonus. Mark, double bonus. 26. Claire and EC's coming in. So we take the volume, which is this formula, and you divide it by 2. What? I'm getting a way different answer. Let's see. Maybe. So what I suggest doing, I'll bring up my calculator just so everyone's clear on how to do this. No, I got then before I divided. Okay, let me see if maybe I'm making a mistake here. It's possible. Okay, so we're going to take 4 divided by 3 and hit enter. We're going to multiply that by pi and hit enter. Then we're going to multiply that by 8 cubed and hit enter. And then we're going to divide it by 2 and hit enter. So I got that. 1072. Okay, I'm not too sure what happened. If you guys want to do it in one step, you gotta make sure okay, so the problem is you have to do the top in one step and hit enter before you divide, because if you don't, you're going to get a wacky number. So if you want to do it in one step, this is what it has to look like. Okay, and then make sure you close the brackets and then hit divide by 2. If you don't, watch what happens if I just do it like this. Oh, it still worked. That's pretty lucky. Okay. So not too sure what happened with you guys. All right. The surface area is a bit different. Okay. What is the surface area of a hemisphere? Okay. The surface area of a sphere, right, is 4 pi r squared. So if we're doing a hemisphere, you divide it by 2, right? And you get 2 pi r squared. However, when you cut this in half, there is no top to the hemisphere, right? What I mean by that is when you chop this sphere in half, that means it's going to be empty on the top. But we know that surface area is everything. Watch my animation. So you need to put a top on that. So you're basically having to add in another circle. Okay, let me fix these animations. Start on click, start on click, and then if all right, so you cut the ball in half, right? And it's once you cut the ball in half, it will look like a salad bowl almost. There's no top to the salad bowl. But a hemisphere, right? A complete half shape is not empty top, right? You need to put the top on it. So you need to add in another circle. So that becomes 3 pi r squared. So in this situation, rarely will we ask you for the surface area with no top on it. So you will 95% of the time will get a surface area of a hemisphere is 3 pi r squared. And then you will get 603.19. Okay, so other than that, we are done for the day.